Hey, it's Fletch. I'm Vice President of Public Safety at 911 Inform. Here's an audio version of my latest blog, Security Through Obscurity. Is it still enough? The public switch telephone network has always been an enigma. In the past, only a select few were chosen and imparted with the knowledge and the secret information about the inner workings, which remain protected with Masonic-like security through obscurity. The secrets of the phone network were passed between generations on a need-to-know basis, from the configuration of the network itself to the details of its central office switching architecture. And the facts were rarely made available to the general public. Now, the result was that only a very small group of people existed that well understood the core operations. Now, in contrast, the communications networks of today are built through collaboration and open standards-based principles. On top of that, the boundless social outreach machine called the Internet that enabled the contributory environment has also allowed the hacker community to flourish, along with their implacable dumpster diving tactics and their infiltration into our work stream. It's kind of become Lord of the Flies, but this time with ones and zeros. So it was only a matter of time before the well-hidden secrets that were behind the telephone network that kept the vulnerabilities of our critical 911 infrastructure from being compromised leaked out and created havoc. And one of our very own creations, the Internet, is what allowed the hackers and the phone phreakers to spread their knowledge at light speed, letting the proverbial genie out of its bottle, along with the detailed information on how to hack the 911 networks. And this information is being used to target public safety in a practice known as swatting and quickly going mainstream. At the 2014 DEF CON conference, the oldest and largest hacker convention in existence, Dr. Christian Damuth, along with Jeff Tully, also a doctor, were openly analyzing the archaic architecture of the 911 network and the failure of that network to evolve with technology and how it impacted the medical field. And what was exposed was what was once a well-working secure data repository was now a leaking sieve of information, easily attacked, spoofed, and even put under the control of nefarious resources to do their bidding. So the question that prevailed was, just how did these two medical doctors figure out how to hack this complex machinery and discover this security problem? Well, as it turns out, the answer was all too simple. You see, these two doctors were actually researching the intersection between security and healthcare, which is why they were attending this security conference. So over their years of research, they had been listening to 911 calls, and they noticed the recordings often included strings of multi-frequency tones. Now, the reason for this is because the legacy 911 network is an analog network, and it passes its information in band through these audio tones in a fashion very much like the old long-distance network. So the conclusion that the doctors came up with was that this could easily expose this network for a man-in-the-middle attack. Now, as it turns out, hacking the legacy telephone network was not something that was new, whether it was the blue box that was built by Steve Wozniak or the Captain Crunch bosun whistle that was used by John Draper. That was an easily modified toy that could emit a perfect 2600 hertz tone and effectively put the nation's long-distance network at your beck and call. Of course, this was before digital switching technology was made available. So in reality, hacking has been an active pastime of many of the great innovators today. Its original usage was not really nefarious, just an attempt to bypass the incredibly high toll charges that they were subject to by the telephone company for long-distance and international calls. Practice went mainstream after a story was published in the October 1971 issue of Esquire magazine. And a copy of that is still online, and there's a link in my blog at fletch.tv. Now, while long-distance phone phreaking has all but died out, since toll fraud's no longer popular thanks to the flat flat-rate cellular plans, and unlimited home phone long distance that's available for unbelievably low rates, phone phreaking has taken on a much more sinister nature. That's called phone swatting, and I'll dive into that phenomenon in another blog. In the meantime, I welcome your comments, suggestions, or queries. Remember, you can follow me on Twitter at Fletch911, and be sure to check out the rest of my blogs right here at Fletch.tv. Thanks for listening. We'll catch you next time. Have a great day.